Me and the Denver mayor, we agree on one thing. He's willing to go to jail. I'm willing to put him in jail. We're going to enforce the law, period. And they're not going to stop us.
Certainly a very clear and strong message.
All right, joining me now, the Denver mayor, Mike Johnston. So, Mayor Johnston, you heard what he said. You got something in common. You're willing to go to jail. He's willing to put you there. He says he's going to enforce the law. Are you willing to go to jail over this?
You know, I think there are thoughtful ways to solve this problem. If they want to focus on violent criminals, we would be happy to help support pursuing, arresting, and deporting them. We've helped past administrations. We'd do that again. If they want to focus on adding more judicial capacity so folks with asylum claims can have those cases heard more quickly, we would support that. What we're not going to do is support deploying the 101st Airborne into American cities to pull 10-year-old kids out of their classrooms in handcuffs. I think that is immoral, that's unconstitutional, and that's un-American. And so I think if that's what they're proposing, they will find us resisting. If they want to partner on common sense solutions, we'll always be happy to partner.
So if Trump were to order ICE agents, you know, for example, right, Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents, to go into the state of Colorado to enforce federal law, would you order, Mayor Johnston, your police department to resist them? Or are you speaking at this point more of just an act of, protest resistance? Or would this actually be an order to your police department?
Yeah, we won't use our law enforcement, and we don't think we need to. That's not what we're after. I think America's not after another conflict on this issue. They're after a way to find pragmatic solutions to this problem. And so, to quote Lincoln, we don't think here that might makes right. We think that right makes might. And so if they are going to send the U.S. Army or the Navy SEALs into Denver to pursue folks to pull them off the job at hotels or restaurants where they're working or pull kids off the soccer field, I think we will see Denverites and folks around the country who will nonviolently resist that, because I think that doesn't represent our values and doesn't represent the Constitution.
Unfortunately, resisting probably won't work against U.S. troops and federal law enforcement.
So has your view on the broader situation changed, though? And I understand you're trying to draw a distinction between violent criminals and people who are in the country illegally, but are contributing to society, right? Going to school, working jobs. But is Denver, Mayor, going to remain a sanctuary city where you do not enforce federal immigration laws? Is there going to be any change to how you are running the city?
We're not changing how we run the city, but it's important that people know what that status means. What that means is that if someone has committed a violent crime, has committed a felony, we do collaborate with federal law enforcement, and we will. What it means we don't do is if someone is driving to work and has a busted taillight on the way, we don't arrest them and connect them to ICE for deportation. We think that's disruptive for families and for residents. I was a high school principal before this, and these are my students. These are kids who are dreamers, who are playing by the rules, getting jobs, trying to make a life. They have daughters who play on our soccer teams or sons who sit in your history classes. We don't think that is the problem facing the country. These are 60% of them are working, 25% of them are children. I don't think that is the crisis the country's worried about.
So Trump is now threatening a 25% tariff on Mexico, which of course you've seen. He says he's going to do that until the invasion ends. That's the word he uses. And he says he's going to sign this tariff on his first day, so presumably by his executive order in January. Let me just play what Mexico's president said today, because she responded and she said the tariffs are not going to do it when it comes to solving the migrant crisis. Here's how she put it.
Presidente Trump, no es con amenazas ni con aranceles como se va a atender el fenómeno migratorio ni el consumo de drogas en Estados Unidos.
All right, I know, Mayor Johnston, you're fluent in Spanish, so even though you couldn't see those, the translation on the bottom of the screen, you understood what she said. Is it possible, though, that the threat of such tariffs, of a 25% tariff, of such a massive and seismic thing to Mexico, would force Mexico to way more forcefully address the drug and migrant flow than it has up till now?
I don't think that's going to solve the problem any more than no Denver business is asking me to pull folks off the job as a way to solve their economic crisis. We have open jobs we're trying to fill. We have more business we're trying to do, more imports and exports we want. That would hurt, I think, American farmers and ranchers, and it would hurt American retailers. And so I don't think that is the solution. I think there is a way to work collaboratively with Mexico and other countries in Central and South America to try to solve this problem. And that's what we're looking for. What are pragmatic ways to help people get to work that want to work, help employers hire them if they want to hire them, and help folks get a fair hearing in court and let the courts decide if they get asylum or not. That's all folks are asking. They're not running from the law. They're actually running towards the law.
If there is another way to solve this problem, why hasn't it been reached yet?
They want to get their cases heard. They have a 7-year wait because the bipartisan bill that would have added more administrative and judicial capacity to hear these cases, Trump opposed. So there's common sense ways to have these cases heard that are constitutional, that are consistent with American values, that would keep the American economy going. These won't do that.
That bill that Trump opposed would have made deportation impossible for these asylum seekers. It is a terrible thing deporting these immigrants from America, but they never should have been flooded in at the rate that they were in the first place. Making it easier for immigrants to enter the country should have been handled after things like inflation and drug trafficking. What good is it for all these people to flood into a country that cannot support those coming in? Like, comment, and subscribe for more.